Hey guys, I wanted to post up a little afterthought on the power of now and being in the present moment. Matt and Silver Soul John, um, we, I'm assuming, John, that you are listening in our video and, you know, wanted to throw in some insight. So I'm just going to make this a response video to you as well. Okay. There's so much to talk about here. First, I can see what your point. Actually, you both brought up the same point. If you focus on now, not only is it hard to just pick a point in now. I don't think that's necessarily what it means. But you're always dividing now as in relation to later and before. So it's dividing, where's this sense of time as a whole? Now doesn't really do it. I wouldn't, let's differentiate now from time as the ever present, which is just a continuous flow that's already connected. It just simply is one whole. So I thought that was a really good point. So I was, thinking everything over, and I kind of realized maybe Tilly didn't mean it like this, as a dividing, or being in the present. There's two things that come to mind. First is the present, being in the present, being mindful now, being aware now. This can be useful in the sense that it directs your attention from always worrying about the future, worrying about what's ahead, or thinking about what's in the past. This reminds me so much of Krishnamurti, actually, just to throw that out there, and how he always said, thought is always of the past, and we're living in the past, we're living in memory, instead of attentive to what is. And, of course he didn't use now, or the power of now, but I think what these writers are alluding to, all of them, and perhaps Gebser really, really nicely described, is this sort of immediacy, ever-presentness that is always immediately accessible. It is not a process of time itself, but it is the originator of time, and time is a flow, and yeah, so it's kind of like you're dropping into the moment, and it's not one moment, it's just experience of this flow of the moment, this forms arising, sensations, those sort of things, and just aware. So I always kind of saw it as that, as like a reminder point, like, hey, focus, become aware, be mindful of what you're doing. So I always kind of saw it as that, just a way to bring our attention back from abstracting to being aware of us abstracting, and being aware of the room, and being aware of the subtle things, because subtle is very important. So those are just my initial thoughts. As a secondary thought, I was also thinking, well, how could this present moment, how could it be how could it be connected to all other times? And Johnny brought up a good point. It's being connected to the flow of time. I also would like to mention that it's, well, I guess the best way to put it is Shinzen Young, mindfulness teacher I've been listening to lately. He said this interesting thing the other day. He said, self and world arise and fall in zero. We never leave zero, never really leave it. And it is the originator of all experience of process and all experience of form, and the destroyer. Um, so that was just paraphrasing, by the way. He didn't actually. I don't think he said it so epically either. Um, the destroyer, but yeah. This idea, everything arises and falls in zero. I thought was another very good description, because Gebser described his what's it called? He described his experience or his insight towards the end of his life, and the way he said it was actually quite beautiful. If I could find it, hold on a sec. There you go. Okay. Matt, you mentioned it sounded like Eckhart Tolle. Here we go. He says, the realizing, awaring of origin is only possible if, when we look backwards and into ourselves, neither the darkness of the magical, the twilight of the mythical, or the current daylight of the mental rational are obstacles, cage bars. Compared to the structure of simultaneity, the ever-presence of the past and the future in the present, darkness, twilight, daylight are impenetrable and non-transparent walls. Where, however, the three grades of darkness and light of consciousness structures have become transparent, there are also the walls become illusory. A more powerful consciousness, the integral, which life and spirit supporting, transcends it and is not overwhelmed by all previous consciousness structures, makes it possible to become aware of the origin through darkness, twilight, and perhaps dazzle, to see the original consciousness, or to use Sri Aurobindo's term, the universal consciousness. Where does this happen? Where this happens due to its partaking of the origin, our consciousness changes into integral consciousness and gives up its bar-like compulsive images. And then he also said, origin is ever present, it is not a beginning, it is not the mere now, it is not a time division, rather achievement of wholeness. This is always original. Okay, I just liked his emphasis on the past and the future in the present. Time is a different type of quality as a presence. Time is it's more like the flow, as they're saying, and even process can be collapsed into presence and expanded. It's hard to explain in rational terms. It's almost as if like time is in zero too. Self and the world arise in zero. So does process. By accessing that origin, we can experience all of these things. But yeah, I guess that's it. I just wanted to get your insight on these two ideas. That self and world and process arise in zero. This can be accessed presently. The infinity of time is here. We're just experiencing process. And that means time becomes liberating. It becomes an expression of zero. It becomes a part of form, and the depth of our consciousness is so much more. And this is an Eastern and a Western mystical insight. Anyway, yeah, I'd like to get your insight. Thanks for listening.